Hi everyone, I lived in Poland for almost 2 years. I learned a lot, so I wanted to share a list of things you should not do on your next trip to Poland. The first one is, don't let someone convince you to go into a bar or club. These secret club promoters, sometimes very attractive young women, will do their best to take you to a club or bar nearby, and then when you start buying them drinks, the cashier will charge you thousands. You might not see the charges until the next day, and by then your card might be maxed out. For instance, in Krakow, it happens a lot on Florianska and Grodzka Street. I always hated these promoters because they would act like your friend, but really they were getting commission to bring you inside. Number 2, don't tell a Polish person how cheap Poland is. You are a guest. Living and making zloty in Poland is way different. I remember how proud I was just to make 4,500 zloty a month, and this is not a lot of money after rent living in downtown Krakow. So don't brag about how much your currency rate transfer is or how much the US dollar is worth in Poland. Number 3, don't wear shoes inside someone else's home. This might be common in the US, but it's not common in Poland. Take your shoes off. You could have dirt or snow on the bottom, and it makes a mess. Number 4, don't forget to use the restroom before you leave the house. In Poland, you have to pay money to use the restrooms here, and they usually don't accept credit cards, so bring some coins. Usually 2 to 5 zloty should be enough for one bathroom break. Number 5, don't talk fast. The Polish learn a formal version of English, so they might not be caught up on all the slang. Also, if you need something like directions or help, ask a younger Polish person because they will more likely be fluent in English than the older generation, but remember to speak slowly and remember to enunciate just in case they are still learning English. Last thing, if you even make a minor effort to learn a little bit of Polish, they will be delighted. So don't forget to say dzień dobry, or good morning, dziękuję, thank you, or do widzenia, see you, bye bye. If you want to try something a bit harder, try learning other phrases like rzuć na luz, or chill out, take it easy. That will really give them a smile. Number 6, don't pay in big bills. Seriously, sometimes I would head to the ATM and it would give me a 500 zloty bill and nobody would take it. So when withdrawing from an ATM, try smaller increments. Most of the country accepts credit cards, but there were many times cash was still only accepted, especially at little booths and shops selling souvenirs. Number 7, don't be late. No, really, don't be late. Tardiness is considered rude just about everywhere, but I found out really quickly that saying, "I'm on my way," while still at my apartment wasn't going to work with my friends. Number 8, don't rent a car. Unless you need to visit the countryside, you can get around most big cities using rideshare apps like Bolt, or take the train using the Jak to Jadę app. Another thing when you're riding public transportation is don't talk loudly. People like a nice and quiet environment when they are riding. While on the train or bus, don't put your feet up on the seat. I got a stern talking to by an elderly woman on the train one time. I don't recommend. Lastly, don't forget to pay as soon as you get on the bus or train. Undercover transportation officers will bust you for not paying and you'll end up owing a fine. Number 9, don't shop on a Sunday. Everything's closed anyways. I remember going to Biedronka many times just to show up and the doors were locked. Number 10, don't call Poland Eastern Europe. You will be corrected. It is not Eastern, it is Central. You will be corrected if you say it's Eastern. Number 11, don't get scared when someone puts ketchup on their pizza. It's apparently normal in Poland. I once had a first date at a restaurant and my date poured ketchup all over her cheese pizza. It almost gave me a heart attack, but they do love their sauces on their pizza here. Number 12, don't drink in public. When I lived in Krakow, I think the fine was around 130 zloty, but it could be more now. You won't get arrested for it, but you will get a fine. Number 13, don't say you visit a Polish concentration camp. This is considered very offensive here. They were German death concentration camps in the occupied territory of Poland. That is a big difference. Number 14, don't drink and drive. I feel like this one should be obvious, but the police are really strict here. You can lose your car. Many Poles don't even want one drink in their system if they're going to be driving somewhere. In 2024, Poland introduced a new law where they seize your car and in some cases scrap it or sell it if you are drinking and driving. There are regulations if you drive a rental, it's going to be a court decision. They might fine you the value of the car. Also for drinking and driving, you could receive a jail sentence anywhere from 2 to 12 years. Police often stand on the road and test for alcohol on random cars in the street. They can even stand at a red traffic light and test everyone that passes through the intersection. Number 15, don't forget to visit the countryside and the mountains. From the mountains of Zakopane in the south to the beaches in the far north region of Gdansk, the nature in Poland is simply stunning, so feel free to embrace it every chance you get. Number 16, you don't need a tip. It's not a custom in Poland. While it's not a custom, you still need to beware in restaurants and service points. English-speaking people are exposed to a risk of overcharging. Always verify your receipts. Number 17, don't get offended if someone stares at you on public transportation. There's no malice or ill intent behind the staring. People are just curious sometimes. Number 18, don't expect great service or smiles in a restaurant. Since Poland doesn't have a tipping culture and waiter salary is not tip dependent, you might not receive the same level of service, but you can always flag your waiter down and they will be glad to help. Number 19, don't forget a gift when you go over to a Polish person's house. Bring a small gift like wine, cake, or something sweet will earn you extra points, and it's customary. Last on the list is don't praise communism. It's a hot topic issue. If you verbally praise communism, no one's going to report you to the police, and with freedom of speech, no one is going to go after you. But presenting communism symbols in public is an offense. Also saying things like, oh, communism, it's not so bad, you might lose friends. Poles were under communist occupation for 50 years. Communists killed hundreds of thousands of Poles in Siberia. Almost every Pole has a relative in the past that was killed or affected by communism. That's everything I could think of, but if I missed something, feel free to put it in the comments. As always, stay tuned for more, and thanks for watching.